This statement from the administration: the president had the constitutional authority to direct the use of military force because he could reasonably determine that such use of force was in the national interest. That's too vague for you?
Totally vague.
Okay, because that's from Obama about Libya.
Well, Obama made the argument initially that he could go into Syria without an authorization. I and many others pushed back on that argument. Ultimately, he did not go forward with going after Assad, even though Assad was gassing his own people, because he thought he might lose the vote in Congress. But I respect the fact that that was important to him, and the fact that he did not have the support of Congress meant that we weren't going to go forward. Right now, reportedly providing intelligence to Iran about how to more successfully target American forces. Whether we anticipated that, I don't know. What's happening with our allies, hard to see how that
Well, allies, Russia now has lost Syria, they've lost Venezuela, they're going to lose Cuba, and they've lost Iran. So he's lost 4 allies.
Yeah, yeah.
That doesn't matter?
But what you said about Iraq.
Now you're one of the most sentient thinkers that we respect. What's your thoughts on this?
I think poor people should stop going to war. I think simply as that. We should refuse to. We will never have the weapons it takes to defeat these empires, but we don't have to send poor boys to die in war. That's simple.
And that's who makes up the military. Let's be honest
poor
about
working
it.
class kids make up the military. And I honestly think rich people's kids should. We should take the leader of every country that wants to go to war and put their kids in a pit to fight.
And it's amazing for you to say that, well, look at all these Muslims. The minute you give them a little bit of freedom, they go wild and they start being all violent. How can you be a citizen of the United States, the country that has generated more violence and militarism in the world over the last 5 or 6 decades, and say...
Yes, TMZ confronted Pretty Mike about what is currently going on. At some point, his response actually sparked up a debate on social media. A lot of people are talking about this. Some agree with him, some disagree totally. There is another video, Ben Stiller, I don't know if that's his name. This man actually went after the White House for a reason I don't understand. It is important we take an exclusive look into all this. Before we go into these videos, first take a look at
the countries that we're right now. You're one of the most sentient thinkers that we respect. What's your thoughts on this?
I think poor people should stop going to war. I think simply as that. We should refuse to. We will never have the weapons it takes to defeat these empires, but we don't have to send poor boys to die in war. That's simple.
And that's who makes up the military. Let's be honest
poor
about
working
it.
class kids make up the military. And I honestly think rich people's kids should. We should take the leader of every country that wants to go to war and put their kids in a pit to fight.
Oh my God. You know what? It is that. I never thought about that part of it. Yeah. That's my cousins.
Yeah, my cousins.
Service.
One of the first memories I have is my cousin having to go to Beirut. So my cousin having to go to Lebanon. He was a Marine. Other memories I have is a picture of the Ayatollah Khomeini, 79, 80 as a kid, imposing fear on us. The United States is an empire, and the only way we're going to change that is if the working class refuses to continue to spread this.
Do you think that anything, there's people in Iran that are celebrating,
yes.
You know? I'm sure they're scared. I go to pick up my daughter from daycare. The woman that takes care of my daughter, she expresses that they're grateful.
Yeah.
But you know, it's an interesting thing to kind of observe what's happening, you know, from everyone's perspectives. What do you think about the people in Iran that are maybe celebrating?
My grandmother would say, we all for ourselves and God is for us all. I just pray that God's favor is the favor that falls upon the Iranian people. And that's whether you are devout and wear a hijab, or you want to get back to what it was pre-79. I think that there's a world in which humans are not persecuting one another based on religion and using government to do it. And I hope we get to that state quicker than not.
You know, there is something wrong with some of these celebrities. They always like to put their mouth into everything, which to me, it should not be like that. It's not every question that is raised to you have to respond. I understand you might dislike the president, but it's not everything you have to answer. reason. I always say this. Why should I sit and be taking advice from musicians or Hollywood celebrities? I should not be doing that, right? At some point, when you look at someone like this, he was unable to answer the last questions simply because of how he disliked the president.
The White House is under fire again. Now, they posted a video using movie clips such as Tropic Thunder, Braveheart, Top Gun, Superman, Transformers, The Matrix, etc. Ben Stiller saw the video and he didn't like it. He tweeted, "Hey White House, please remove the Tropical Thunder clip. We never gave you permission and have no interest in being part of your propaganda machine. War is not a movie." If you haven't seen it, here it is.
We play a significant role in what has been happening in the Middle East because we've been interfering and dominating that region in order to have access to the oil.
I was talking about theocracy. That doesn't happen here.
No, well, okay, that doesn't happen here, but at the same time, Iran invading lots of other countries and occupying them for a decade, nor are fundamentalist countries the way the United States is. So these things are interlinked because we are continuously interfering in that part of the world. And so to say...
Really, it's all our fault?
It's not all our fault, but when you send your military for 6 straight decades into dictators, you take responsibility for your actions and say, to the extent that that region...
That religion goes back 1,000 years before our revolution, so I don't think we can take all the blame.
I don't think we should. I think we should take a lot of it. And there's lots of bodies and corpses that have been piled up in the name of Christianity and Judaism as well.
Not recently.
Have you heard of the occupation of the West Bank and part by extremist views of Judaism, or the wars in Europe, or the fact that there were generals in the United States saying we have to go and invade and destroy?
You know, this clip was posted by Libras on social media. I saw how they are pouring out a lot of, things about the whole video. Some dislike Maher, like he is pressing the president for taking up this decision to invade, go after people in Iran, things like that. At some point, I begin to ask myself, why is it that when it's a Democrat president, these people will not see any fault in it? When it's Trump doing it, it's always a problem. Like I said before, if Trump rescues someone that is almost given up in the hospital, these people will always look for a way to blame him or to always bring fault at that. It should not be like this. At this point, you realize people are divided on this issue. There are some few Republicans that are going after the president because of this. I saw Trump calling out Tucker like, oh, he's not more MAGA. He's, because of what is going on. So you see that it has actually caused division to a level that I've not seen in a long time. I saw this video, I could not bypass. I just wanted you people to see what is going on. I want to appreciate people supporting, sharing out the videos. God bless you abundantly. As of the short clips at the end, that is for the white algorithm. You can always skip.
What did you think of the trap? Happy Iranian American, sorry.
How dare you, Meg?
What I can say is that Donald Trump is a real Gemini.
They always played these games of Simon Says there. Well, if they put it in the ad.
That just
goes through to get here. Trump! Go Trump! Hey, Murphy, you're scumbag. Thanks, man.
Our chamber is chanting USA. This is a sick person. In the first
I was there, and it was as horrific as I thought it would be.
She wasn't the only one. Look at SOT 35, CNN's Abby Phillip.
But he utilized almost like these game show type moments where you're seeing awards being presented.
They're just so disgusting.
Of course, he chose who did not vote in his favor and did not shake her hand there.
Here's the video. He shook everyone's hand. Everyone. There's the Chief Justice. All of them got their hands shaken, to the point where they had to come back on the air and say this in SOT 33.
But we should point out as he walks in, he's pretty close to the justices again as he comes down on the floor, that he did shake their hands there this evening.
Moment. No, that's not what happened at all.
Democrats to stand for the slain
passenger in North. Our first priority is Americans rather than illegal on either of those two. I think they took his bait.
Can take away from the joyous moment as all Americans. And why are they putting a medal?
Oh, he's already under scrutiny for 1,000 reasons. Patel posted this on X.
People on the left are absolutely losing their minds.
Because now it's our job.
I get suspicious when anybody, whether it's
no one should be above scrutiny.
I think that Whoopi Goldberg, you might want to think. Isn't their whole testimony?
Don't use it as a platform.
Person's home, it's very easy to.
This is for the people in the United States who are terrorized and scared today.
The country's in such emotional turmoil.
And Republicans on both sides.
So amazing. And wasn't it so great?
Then he basically said, I simply got him before he got me.
I made a video about this man, and now